Hey everyone, I'm here at my lab at Purdue University taking care of some of our tadpoles that we're going to be using for an experiment here in a couple weeks. They're right behind me, so let's go ahead and take a look at them. These are green frog tadpoles that I collected as eggs just a couple months ago from a nearby site, and we'll go to the container, and I've got all these containers filled with them, but this one has the most, and we'll take a look at them. They're all these little brown specks that are swimming around. And you can see how small they are, and even though I collected them a couple months ago, they're still pretty small. And that's because these develop pretty slowly, so these will actually not become frogs until next year. So they overwinter as tadpoles. They stay underneath the ice, they slow down because the temperature is really, really cold, and that slows down their development. So they actually won't be frogs until next summer. And you can see the little brown specks, it kind of looks like dirt almost at the bottom here. And that's actually their food. So what we feed them is actually rabbit food. And these little pellets of rabbit food are filled with plant material, they're filled with protein, help the tadpoles grow up really nice and strong. I pulled out a couple here so we can get a slightly closer look at them. There's kind of a big one at the bottom, kind of a slightly smaller one at the top, and these are from the same parents, okay? So these are from the same egg mass. And we can see there's a lot of variation, even though they hatched at about the same time, there's a lot of variation in their size. And that might be due to competition, so one of those individuals might be able to eat more, eat faster. It also might be due to their genetic variation. So some individuals might have their genes or their DNA might help them to, or make them be a little bit larger, make them be a little bit longer, kind of like how we have variation with our siblings and how tall we are. Some of our siblings might be taller, some might be a little bit shorter, and there's a lot of variation there. So yeah, so these tadpoles are going to be used for an experiment where we expose them to road salts, like the salt that's put on roads to de-ice them during the winter time to make it safer for us to drive on. And we're also going to expose the tadpoles to a disease. And we're going to see how the disease and the salts impact the survival, impact the growth, impact the feeding, those kind of things of the tadpoles. And then we'll be better able to help manage our use of those salts and how that impacts diseases in the environment and eventually how it impacts the frogs in the environment. So we'll see how that goes. We have to do a lot with the pathogen, so we're going to culture up the pathogen, and we're going to expose the tadpoles to them in a couple weeks. And then a little while later, we're going to finish up the experiment and see what we found.